Hi everybody, this is another Flying Rookie video, and as you can see, every time you guys see this big mess that I got over my little table, that means that something is cooking. And what is cooking is a new quadcopter build, and this is going to be the last quadcopter build that I'm going to do this year. Next year I'm going to build something larger, something more professional, something that's going to be used for professional video. And yeah, it's not going to be a S800, it's going to be something a little bit better than that. Okay, but going back to this, this thing over here is all the parts, or most of the parts that I'm going to use on my latest build, and this one is going to be the Hoverthings Flip-FPV quadcopter. Okay, and one of the things that I heard about this Flip-FPV frames is that they are virtually indestructible. They are really strong, and they build it based on the Flip quadcopter. And I saw videos on the Hoverthings website when they got these Flip quadcopters doing what they call battle quads, and they are doing like some kind of dogfights in midair, and it's like one quadcopter goes after another, and whoever get to crash the other one, they get to win. But the thing is, they keep crashing it and crashing in midair and crashing on the ground, and they don't break. Okay, so that frame design was such a hit that they decided to build FPV version. It's kinda like the HTFPV, but it's a little bit more symmetrical than the HTFPV, and everything is better distributed. I still do have a HTFPV that I'm planning to do some major upgrades to make it fly better, but at the same time I want to try this frame, and I really like it. I like the part that is really strong, so I might end up trying to do either some 3D on FPV, or I might try to do proximity FPV flights where people fly really low on the ground between trees and different obstacles and stuff like that. So to do that, you need a strong frame, so that way you are not all the time repairing the aircraft every time you make a mistake and crash. So that's why I purchased this frame, so I can take my skills to the next level. Okay, so let's start with all this mess that I got over here. I got over here the wires that I'm going to use. I got the positive and the negative. And these are the wires that I'm going to use to power all the ESCs from the power distribution board. Okay, they are 14 gauge, but I feel that they are a little bit too thick for the type of ESCs that I'm going to use. I do also have 16 gauge wires, so if I don't use these ones, I'm going to use the 16 gauge ones. So either way I go, I'm going to be okay. I got this power distribution board that I purchased on eBay, and I think I bought it from a US seller for like $7 free shipping or something like that. So it's pretty basic. It's like a new design. It's not like the ones that you see all the time that they got, you know, little dots, you know, mounted, you know, like a circular shape. These ones, they are more like a perimeter type of flight distribution board. They got marked, you know, where you're supposed to mount the main wires and where you're supposed to mount the ESCs and the accessories and so on. So it's pretty good. They got the basic size of all the, you know, this KKK type, you know, flight controllers, and so it's gonna do the job. So I'm okay with this. But the flight controller the aircraft might come with its own power distribution board, because it happened to me with my HTFPV. When I bought it, I bought a power distribution board, and when I opened the box, it came with its own power distribution board. So we'll see. Okay. The ESCs that I'm going to use are the IPCA 30 amps ESCs, and I purchased these ESCs on rcdude.com, and they are Simon K. These are the cheapest Simon K ESCs that they do have, and they can work with either 3 or 4 cell light bulbs, but this aircraft is going to fly on 4 cell light bulbs, so I'm not going to bother to use. I mean, 3-cell lipos. My mistake. 3-cell lipos. I'm not gonna bother to use 4-cell. Anyway, with the motors that I'm gonna use over here, they're not designed to work on 4-cell lipos. So I got all 4 ESCs, as you can see. I got all 4 packets of these IPCA ESCs. They cost like around $18.95 or something like that each on RC Boot. So I think it's a good value. I do already got an aircraft with these ESCs, and it's my HD-FPV, and once I upgrade it with this ESC, it flies better. Now though, what I'm going to do is change the motors on that aircraft, put different motors that will make the aircraft fly better. Okay, so these are the ESCs. I got these wires over here. Know that I'm going to use all of them. I got male and female JST connectors, and I bought a bunch of them because I build aircraft all the time, and they were really cheap. I bought it from a Chinese seller. I think I paid, like, for this set, I think they come with like 100, 50 males and 50 females for, like, I don't know, I think it was like 10 or 15 bucks cheap. So it was a good price. And I got these wires over here that they are power Futaba-J connectors, and not that I need all of them. I'm just going to need one to be soldered on the power distribution board. And the reason for that is because I fly my aircraft with high-tech radio, and the high-tech receiver that I'm going to use is the Optima 7 on this aircraft. And this Optima 7 got over here on the side something that looks like a jumper connector, similar to the ones that you will find on the Spectrum receivers to bind it, but this is not a binding connector over here. This thing, the purpose of this is like if you want the receiver to be powered by the ESCs or the flight controller, depending on which aircraft you use this receiver, then you gotta leave the jumper on the SPC connect input. You gotta leave it there. But if you want to power the receiver from the battery, directly from the battery, then you remove this connector and then you solder this into the battery connector. You got an airplane, this JST connector. I mean, not JST, Futaba-J connector. You have to solder it into the battery connector or into the power distribution board, depends on which aircraft you use, and then you will be able to power the receiver directly from the battery of the aircraft. And the best part is that this thing can take between 4.8 volts to 30 volts. Okay, so it don't matter how big is your aircraft, you can power the receiver by connecting this directly to the battery. Now just remember, this receiver only can handle that power on this connector where the jumper is. Okay, you cannot put it where you put the receiver, the servos or anything else, or the flight controller, because it will burn the receiver. Okay, so this is a cool thing. And this is something that's even better. By you plugging this wire from the battery to the receiver, this receiver already worked. It got one single sensor, telemetry sensor for voltage built in. So even this receiver comes with an output that will allow you to hook it up to the module. Like most companies that make receivers with telemetry, you have radios with telemetry. You have to buy a module, and that module will allow you to connect different sensors. But these receivers, all the Optima receivers, from the Optima 6 to the Optima 9, all of them, all the Optima receivers from High-Tech, they already come with a built-in sensor for the voltage that will be the same sensor that tells you that the same input that power the receiver from the battery. So by you having that, you can go to your radio and set up a LiPo alarm on your radio that will work with this sensor. So when your aircraft reaches certain voltage, your radio is going to start beeping. So that's really, really cool. That's why I love High-Tech. But like I said, if I want to add more sensors, I can buy the module and add extra sensors that will give me different voltages or different batteries. It will give me temperature. It will give me GPS position that will work together with a PC and Google Earth. So it will show on the Google Earth map on real time where my aircraft is flying. That's what's great about high tech. You get good value and you get a lot of features with it. And the nice thing about this receiver is this receiver, they are cheap comparable with all the receivers, 7-channel receivers on the market. And I think it costs like under $50. It's a 7-channel receiver and it's a full range receiver. I can go as far as 3,000 feet high or 2,000 feet away. So for FPV, it's great. Okay, so this is pretty much about the receiver and this connector. Okay, the connectors that I'm going to be using to power the ESCs from the power distribution board, they're going to be 3mm connectors. So I got this bag that comes with a male and the female connectors. So I got connectors for this project and future projects. I got a lot of things, so I'm covered with that too. The motors that I'm going to be using here, I put on this back. We have removed from the original box because I was mounting. I mount the wires. Not the wires. The 3.5mm connectors that I just showed is this Keda 2210 motor. Okay, I got a lot of aircraft with Keda motors and they work awesome. For me, it's one of the most reliable motors on the market. I don't say it's the most reliable, but it's one of the most reliable motors on the market. And one thing is, these people from Hoverthings, Ready to Fly Quads, they use a lot of Keda motors on their aircraft. So I trust their judgment. They make great aircraft and they know how to put nice hardware in them. Okay, this motor is 1200 kV. Like I mentioned. So I saw many people when they fly these aircraft, they want the aircraft to be really stable. So for some reason they buy high kV motors. So that's why I picked this one, because this one is 1200 kV. So it's going to be really responsive and it's going to be really fast. This motor is designed to work strictly only on 9-inch props. So that's the props that I'm going to use over here. And got all 4 motors ready to be installed. The only thing that I have to do is just put the head shrink over here with the different colors, and that way, I can match the colors with the ESCs. Okay. I got some JSD on-off switches over here that I'm going to use it with the FPV equipment. Okay. And just put the motors away too. Okay, the props that I'm going to use on this aircraft, like all my aircraft, they're going to be APC props, and the ones I got here, they are 9 by 4.7. They got the 2 tractors and I got the 2 pushers props over here. And I know a lot of people, they are crazy about the jam fans and the Graupner and all this stuff, but APC, they never let me down. I never had an aircraft ever breaking an APC on midair. That's how reliable they are. And I always balance in. I got a dobro balancer. I'm not the kind of balancer person that balances the props with tape. For me, that's the lazy way of balancing the prop. I do balance them with sandpaper because these props, they are thick. They are, heavy duty and everything. So you can sand it and balance, that way. That's how I balance the blades, and that's how I balance the hull with this. So I always get the props, this prop you can, balance it the way it's supposed to be balanced is with sandpaper. So I like them. The only way I ever broke one of these props is if I crash. Other than that, they don't break. This is the pre-mounted traxxas connector. And yes, I do use traxxas connectors on all my aircraft. I don't use any other connectors. They are high power, they're easy to deal with them, and since I use for so long, on my RC cars and trucks, traxxas connectors is the only connector that I like, the only one that I trust. So I bought these ones that they are already pre-mounted, so all I have to do is just solder this into the power distribution board and I'll be good to go. Okay. The flight controller that I'm going to use it's not gonna be a NASA, and I got ready for NASA. I'm good with that, but I want to use something different over here. I know that, for example, this guy from Australia, Joss, he lost his open pilot, but I heard good things about this flight controller. This the AQ50D. And these flight controllers not made in China, it's made in Taiwan. Some people say, oh, Taiwanese are Chinese. Yeah, they are. But many people know the stuff that comes from Taiwan is better quality than the stuff that comes from China. So you can see it's the AQ50D. And it comes with all the wires. It comes with a CD that will allow me to install the software that will allow me to hook this thing to the computer and do all the settings. I got the USB adapter to do all the programming from the PC. It comes with a CD that it will install the program, but I already got the program installed on my computer. And this is the coolest upgrade for this flight controller, and it's the barometer upgrade. I got it over here too, because I say if I don't buy the NASA, okay, I won't buy the NASA, but I want this thing to be able to hover. It might not get, the cool features that I get with the NASA, with the GPS, return to home, and all the stuff that I will get with the NASA. But you know why? At least I got the barometer. That's cool because it's gonna help me, have like a easier experience, flying FPV. I don't have to fight that much with the throttle stick, to keep the aircraft into altitude while I'm flying low. So that's really cool. So it's a high quality. I saw videos of people flying FPV with this flight controller. It works wonderful. You will require a receiver of at least, I think, like 6 channel. So since my receiver is 7 channel, I'm gonna have extra channels to use it for whatever I want to use it. Okay, so this is the cool thing about this receiver. I got the screws over here that I'm going to use on the motors. I got more than one I need, obviously, but I got 3mm by 6 and 2mm by 4 screws from Dubro. So I don't know which ones, this motor, these arms that are going to come on the aircraft they're going to set, but I'm covered with the screws. I got different sizes. Okay, the stuff that I got left over here is the stuff that I'm going to use for FPV. Okay, the only thing that I got missing right now is the camera. And I do have GoPros with me. I got 4 GoPros, but they are already installed in their own respective aircrafts. And I'm not the kind of guy that like to take something from one RC vehicle moving to another. I want all my RC vehicles to have its own equipment and just remain there. So all the GoPros that I do have, they are mounted on their own aircraft. So I decided to buy an extra Hero 2, and right now, it's the time to buy, the Hero 2s because they went down in price since the Hero 3 came out. I've still got plans to buy the Hero 3, but the problem with the Hero 3 is that it doesn't come with FPV friendly video output cable, since they eliminate the small 2.5mm connector that you find on the video output that you find on the GoPro Hero 960, the Hero HD, and the Hero HD2. So I'm still gonna continue buying dealing with the HD2. If they come out with an adapter like that will allow me to connect the GoPro Hero 3 or with like a video transmitter, OSD, something like that, then I'll buy the Hero 3. I'm still gonna buy it anyway. I'm gonna buy one black edition just to have it. But in the meantime, I'm gonna deal with the Hero 2. Since all my aircraft, I've already got extra wires like this one over here that will allow me to hook it up to a video transmitter or an OSD. Okay, and I got over here the cloverleaf antenna that I'm going to use on the video transmitter, and I got the 90-degree angle adapter, and I already got a 400 milliwatt video transmitter that I have on an aircraft that I built recently, but I'm going to remove it to put it on this aircraft for temporarily on this aircraft until I get a 500 milliwatt that I'm going to install on this aircraft. And the video transmitters that I use, they are Foxtech 5.8 gigahertz. That's the only thing that I did with. The final thing that I got from all the stuff that I purchased from this aircraft is the OSD. And this is not like a high-end super duper OSD. This is actually a cheap OSD, but it comes with the GPS, and it's the Hoverthings GOSD2. So this is the brain of the OSD over here. They got all the connectors. I got over here the wires, and I got this is the GPS antenna over here for the GOSD2 from Hoverthings. This thing is not as fancy as the Rimbisi or the Cyclops OSD, but I mean for $40, I mean you can complain with this. So that's why I decided to use with this aircraft. So that's pretty much the stuff that I'm gonna use for FPV over here. Now the main product, that's what I'm gonna show now. So let me just put this stuff away. And before that, I almost forgot. I got this thing here. I will call this the Miracle Battery. Why? Because this battery is one of the latest batteries that came out from Hoverthings. It's the Nanotech ASPEC 4.5. And this battery is amazing. Why? Because this battery is really thin, as you can see over here, so you're not going to have problems to mount this battery on whatever aircraft you want to use it. Number two, this battery weighs the same as 3300 3S battery from Hoverthings, and I do have the 3300 over here. Okay, the 3300 from Hoverthings, and this is the 4.5. I measured them, and this one only weighs 10 grams more than this one, but I get an amazing flying time with this battery. So I use this battery on a really lightweight quadcopter that I have, and that quadcopter on FPV with the camera and everything, it flew for almost 18 minutes. So the video that I got on my channel before this video, you can see the fly over there. And I couldn't believe it. I thought I'm never going to end doing the FPV fly. I never done such a long FPV fly in my life. Most of the FPV flights that I do, they are like 9 minutes, 10 minutes, 11 minutes, 12 minutes. But this one flew for almost 18 minutes with this battery, the other quadcopter. So hopefully with this one that I'm gonna build, this Flip-FPV quadcopter, I'm gonna try to build it as light as possible. I hope to do at least 12 to 14 minutes of flying time with this battery. So it's gonna be great, having this battery on use on that aircraft. Okay. Now let's proceed to unbox the Flip-FPV, and I haven't opened it. As you can see, it's inside the priority mail cardboard envelope. So let me get the scissors and cut this thing open and see what's inside. Let's try to make sure that when I'm cutting these, I don't cut any critical component inside. Okay, let's open this up. Now let's see what we got inside here. Wow, this thing looks really cool. Okay, let's make sure it's nothing here hidden, like a walk-on. Yeah, I wish. Okay, let's see. We got over here the hard plastic arms, and they look really nice. By accident I cut the back a little bit, so let's just get this thing out. These are the plates. Okay. Wow, this thing is a work of art. Look how cool this thing looks. This thing is beautiful. And like I mentioned before, the nice thing about this is like you can, this frame, it's like more symmetrical than the previous frame. And you can either use the old-fashioned arms, the double arms, a lot of frame style arms, or you can use the hard, plastic ones like the ones that I got here. Okay, I got all four, and they look really, really solid. I'm really impressed. I like the holes that they make over here for the motor, so you can accumulate any type of motor. They don't got, like the older, arms on other aircraft that they got, like 2 holes closer and 2 holes, a little bit far apart. They just put this, slotted type, so you can put, whatever motor over here. We'll take any motor. So that's really, really nice. I really like what I got here. Okay, and here I got all the hardware. I got all the stand-ups and everything, so that's really nice. Okay, and this the other plate, I guess is the lower plate. And the cool thing is that you can mount 2 GoPros. You can mount one in the back, and you can mount another one in the front. So you got the mounts for both. That's really, really, really cool. I like this. Okay, this is the upper plate. Okay, and let me see. Oh, I got the top, protection guard. This is what you use to protect the flight controller, and it partially covers the battery. So that's really nice. So I guess the flight controller will go. Oh, I got no clue. I guess it will go on the top or something. What I don't see here is, I don't really see the holes. Oh, actually, there's another plate. Okay, these is where the flight controller is supposed to go. But what I don't see is the holes that will allow you to put, flight controller than the one that I have. Like a KKK size flight controller. So I have to, double check and see how this thing is gonna be done. Okay, but everything else is in its place. It's very, very symmetrical. And I got this back over here, got the landing gears, and that's really cool. I like this. So you got the choice to put landing gears or not. Because if you use the landing gears, then you can mount the battery in the bottom of the aircraft. Okay. And I got over here the battery strap and the wrench. Okay, and this thing always included wrench because the hardware on this aircraft is American size, American standard, or imperial, however you call it. So they include the wrench, and that way for those people in most of the world or the planet, they use metric systems, so they might not have the wrench that they need to build it. So these people, they do include the wrench. And I got over here all the instructions that will allow me to put the whole thing together. Okay, so that's cool. I got the whole everything I need, so it's just a matter of waiting for the GoPro and the video transmitter that is going to be used over here. But in the meantime, I got everything else that I need. Okay, so I guess that's pretty much it with this video. I show everything that needs to be shown. So next video is going to be the time-lapse video when I show when I'm building this aircraft. So I'm going to compress everything. I'm going to try to compress it like in 10 minutes or so. Okay, so that's pretty much it on this introduction and unboxing of my Flip-FPV quadcopter from Hoverthings. Okay, so please don't forget to rate, comment, subscribe, share this video, favorite this video, and thanks for watching, everybody.